Hey y'all, CB Phillips here at NBS Welding. Welcome to the shop. Those of you that follow my channel have seen me build everything from brush guards to bridges. But we got something new here today. Let me give you an updatification on the fabrication situation. I've been commissioned by my cousin to build a bar. And the way this came about was my cousin has bought a very beautiful older home on what's called the Gap Trail. The Gap Trail is a bicycle trail that runs from Cumberland, Maryland to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So with the bicycle theme in mind, she's bought a set of bar stools that they have sprockets and chain and bicycle pedals up underneath of the bar stool, so that when you would put your feet up on the bar stool like you would on a bar stool, you're actually putting your feet on bicycle pedals. Let me share an image with you of what these bar stools are so you can kind of start to smell what I'm stepping in here. All right, so after obtaining these bar stools, my cousin realized that she needed a bar. Had to have a bar, a place to set your drink down, set your bottle down. And she found an old wooden beam, an old hardwood beam that she just absolutely fell in love with. And she wanted that to be the bar surface, the bar top, to go with the bar stools that she had. So she started to work on repurposing this beam. She sanded and filled and stained and buffed. And let me share with you a little bit of footage and images that I have on that. So after getting this beam the way she wanted it, the next thing was to figure out, how she was going to use it. And she actually took it to the property, took it to the house there on the Gap Trail, and she put it in the area of the house where she wanted it with the bicycle bar stools and propped it up at the height that she wanted it. And she took a picture of it, which I'm going to share with you the same picture that she shared with me to give me the idea of what she wanted to do. So obviously the next step in this was to build a steel structure that holds this piece of wood and turns it into a bar with the bicycle theme in mind. And that's what we've done. So let's take a look at how that all went. So to start out with, I decided that the side structure of this bar was going to be a 1/4 inch by 8 inch mild steel flat bar. And I brought in a piece of it and marked up the top with a 4-inch radius cut and a square cut at the bottom. And I cut those parts with an oxyacetylene torch. The next part of the structure was the bases that were going to be holding it up. And we knew that the floor wasn't going to be exactly perfect everywhere in this old house, and decided that we needed some kind of adjustable feet. Now, my cousin did find some really, really nice adjustable feet that we could use. And so the next part to me on the build was making the bases that would hold these adjustable feet. So I brought in some 5/8 inch by 2 inch mild steel flat bar, cut those to length, and drilled and tapped them with the right thread for those adjustable feet. Then to finish up the sides of the structure, I added a bicycle chain all the way around the outer edge of the 1/4x8 flat bar, and welded on the 5/8 by 2 that I had drilled and tapped for the adjustable feet. So I put the wooden beam up on a set of jack stands to hold it in place at the height that it was going to be, and put my sides up there and got to looking at it. Wasn't sure what I was going to do next, and a stroke of luck came where I had been looking for older bicycle parts for quite a while, and had made several phone calls and reached out to people that I thought might have some parts for bicycles to give me some ideas or parts to use in the build. But I got lucky and happened to find a very old style bicycle. The owner thought it was somewhere in the range of 60 or 70 years old. And it wasn't too far from here. And I went and bought that bike and brought it back here. And when I held it up there, I was a little bit confused on how I was going to actually incorporate it and make it a functional part of the structure. But it all ended up working out. I ended up taking the bike apart and putting it back together. Didn't want any paint on it. We were going with a raw metal sort of a look with this. But I can show you how all that went too. There was an issue I saw with the beam when I was looking at it with my steel. The ends of the beam were very unsquare. And because of the way this was being built, the ends of the beam needed cut off square. So that was also something I had to take care of. So the next thing, we're at the part where we can start to put this structure together. And I got some 3x2 angle iron, brought it in and cut it to length and drilled it. Drilled holes in it to fasten to that wooden beam, and that 3x2 angle iron goes between my side pieces. So I can put the beam on there and connect, start to connect the structure of this thing together. once the sides and the top were tacked up, it was time to put the bike in. And the bike was going to hold everything square and finish up holding the structure together. And I decided that I was going to put the bike wheels on a 1/4 by 2 inch flat bar. Well, I had to roll that flat bar into a radius, and I adjusted the elevation of the bike by the amount of radius that I put in the flat bar. Something that I noticed when I was moving that thing around, it's a very difficult thing to move, and there's really not a good place to grab on it. It gave me the idea that maybe for cleaning purposes or just overall moving it, if ever need be, that it sure would be nice to have some kind of handle on it. But you don't want just some kind of handle like you'd have on a cabinet. And I was trying to figure out how I could make some handles that would be decorative and also maybe dual purpose, because I felt like it being a bar, you needed a handle that maybe you could use it as a towel rack or something like that, and so that it doesn't always just look like a handle. So I brought in some 5/8 inch square key stock and decided I was going to make 2 handles where it would have a handle on each side. And I decided to heat, bend, and twist those, put a little time and effort into it to make them pretty custom. things I was pretty amazed with on a bike that old was just how great a condition the seat was in. Wasn't any cuts or tears in it. There was a pretty big issue with the steel structure of the seat being extremely rusted. The rust was so bad that I knew that it was going to need to be brushed and cleaned. And I had to take it apart to do that, because I knew that the wire brushing that it would take to get the rust off the steel structure of that seat would destroy the seat cover. So I took the risk and I removed the seat cover and the padding of the seat. I took the wire brush and I cleaned the rust off of the structure of the seat as best I could. And then I had to put the padding, the seat cover, and that steel structure of the seat back together. That thing was, it was really tight on there, and I was nervous. I ended up using metal screwdrivers and things to pry on it to get it in place. And a couple of times I just thought for sure I was going to poke a screwdriver through that seat cover and ruin it. But it worked out, and I got it put together, and I really feel like the seat being on there, not only does it add to the look of what I was trying to do, but it's a very functional part too. This thing being a structure that's steel, in a house next to a drywall wall or whatever, if the thing was to get knocked and the raw steel hit the wall, there's a good chance, a lot better chance, that it's going to damage the wall. Now, I don't think that would be a big issue. This bar is so heavy and the base is so wide that you'd have to hit it pretty hard to move it much. But still, I realize that if you have that seat and the padding and the cover in place, and the bar did get bumped against the wall, the first thing that would hit the wall would be the softer seat, much softer than if the raw steel had hit the wall. So I really was hoping it would work out, that I could get that seat put back on there and put back together and put back on there, and it worked out that I was able to do that. So I was pretty glad for that. So for the last part of it, just needed to put the wooden beam back and fasten it with the screws. Part of my idea with those screws is I really didn't want to do anything to fasten the beam that would hurt the beam much. Meaning I didn't want to drill very big holes in it. So there is actually a lot of screws, a large number of small screws in the beam holding it to the structure. But I'm glad to say that that's plenty strong, I believe. But the screws are small enough that if you took them all out, there wouldn't be much sign that they were ever there. All done. Let's take a look. Hey y'all, we're coming to you from the break room here at NBS Welding. I want to show you the t-shirts we got. The NBS Welding t-shirts got NBS Welding on the front, American flag on the sleeve, great big NBS Welding here on the back. Helps the channel if you buy a t-shirt. If you're interested in a t-shirt, send Tina an email request, nbswelding@aol.com. Thank you.